Salve omnes, welcome to this video lesson on chapter 26, section 2. We're starting here at line 32. Daedalus vero, but Daedalus says, inquit, quid juvat deos invocare, what does it help to invoke the gods? What good does it do to invoke the gods, we might say? Dum hic quietus sedes, while here you sit calm or still, that is to say, without doing anything. Now he's speaking to his son Icarus, who just called out to the gods for help. And Daedalus is one of these people that doesn't wait on gods to help him. Qui ipse se iuvare non vult, the one who himself doesn't want to help himself, all right, ipse se, himself, the one who doesn't want to help himself, auxilium deorum non meret, does not deserve, non meret, the help of the gods. All right? You got to help yourself first. At noli temere, but don't be afraid. Ego consilium fugae iam ex cogitavi. I have already thought up, iam ex cogitavi, a plan of escape, consilium fugae. Et si clausae sunt aliae viae, even if the other ways, the other roads are closed, una via nobis patet, one road is open for us, ad fugendum, for escaping. Intuere illam aquilam, look upon that eagle. Now, intuere might look like a present active infinitive. You know, we normally get those with a re ending. But intue or intuere is a deponent verb, so we know those don't have active forms. They only have passive forms translated active. So this is actually the passive singular imperative, and so thus look upon. So look upon that eagle. Quae in magnum orbem circum carcerem nostrum volat, which is flying, quae volat, in a big circle, in magnum orbem, around our prison, circum carcerem nostrum. Quis est tam liber quam avis, who is so free as a bird, who is as free as a bird, tam quam working there to correlate, who is as free as a bird, quae trans montes valles flumina maria volare potest, who is able to fly across mountains, valleys, rivers, seas. Now notice there's not and seas there. In Latin, just as a quick reminder, you normally don't get X, Y, and Z. That's kind of rare in Latin. If you do, there's usually an emphasis on the and there, the last item being tacked on. Usually in Latin, when you get lists of 3 or more, you just get all the words together like this, montes, valles, flumina, maria, without any conjunctions, or you might get conjunctions for all of them. Montes, et valles, et flumina, et maria, right? So those are more common than the X, Y, et Z, right? Okay. Queen aves, caeli imitamur. Queen is kind of a synonym for kurnon. Why don't we imitate the birds of the sky? Minos, qui terrae marique imperat, who commands the earth and the sea, or you could say who is in control of the earth and the sea, if you wish. Dominus aeres non est, is not the Lord of the air. Per aera hinc evolabimus. So evolabimus is from that base verb volo, volare, to fly, and a, of course, just means out or from as a prefix. So we will fly away from here through the air, or fly out of here through the air. Hoc est consilium meum, this is my plan. Nemo nos volantes persequi poterit, no one will be able, poterit, eri marks that as future, no one will be able to pursue us flying, persequi nos volantes. Ego quidem, studiosus sum volandi, inquit Icarus. Icarus says, I indeed am eager. Now, literally, volandi is genitive, so it looks like eager of flying. um, but we would say eager to fly or eager for flying, more likely. Sed alae necessariae sunt ad volandum, but wings alae are necessary for flying. Okay, so we're getting more of these gerunds here. The volandi genitive up above, volandum is the accusative gerund here. Quoniam dii nobis alas non dederunt, since the gods did not give us wings, volare non possumus, we are not able to fly. Homine sumus, we are humans, human beings. Non aves, not birds. Nemo nisi deus, no one except a god, naturam suam mutare potest, is able to change, potest mutare, his own nature, naturam suam. Aves natura volare possunt, birds by nature, notice the long A ablative of natura, by nature are able to fly. Homines non item, people not the same way, right? Item means likewise or the same way. People are not the same. Tum Daedalus. Then Daedalus says, inquit, quid ego facere non possum? What am I not able to do? Ooh, he is a pretty proud one, right? He believes in himself, perhaps too much. Pride goeth before a fall, they say. And we got a fall coming. Profecto, absolutely, arte mea ipsa natura mutare potest. By my art, arte mea, ablative case, nature herself, ipsa natura, is able to be changed or can be changed. Potes mutare. Multas res mirabiles iam confeci. I have already made, iam confeci, many wonderful, many marvelous things. Quae artem meam omnibus demonstrat, which demonstrate, quae demonstrat, my art, my skill, artem meam, to everyone. Omnibus, dative plural. Non solum aedificia magnifica, not only magnificent buildings, ut hunc labyrinthum, as this labyrinth, verum etiam signa quae se ipsa movere possunt. But even, and signa can mean a lot of things, sign, symbol, so on, but it can also mean statues. That is a synonym for statua or statuae in the plural, and that's what it means here. But also statues which can move themselves, tamquam homines vivi, just as living people, or like living people. Okay, so this is in reference to some of these bronze robots that we see mentioned in some Greek myths. Daedalus in some myths makes bronze robots. Another one that does this would be Vulcan or Hephaestus, the god of the forge. He is known in some myths to make bronze robots as well. Alas quoque conficere possum. I am able to make wings too. Quamquam opus haud facile est, although the work is not at all easy. So there again, he's kind of boasting a bit. Yeah, I know it's not easy at all, but I can do it, because I'm all that. Audax quidim est consilium tuum, inquit Icarus. Icarus says, audacious, bold indeed is your plan. Sed omnia consilium fugiendi me delectat. But every plan of escaping, we might say any plan of escaping, delights me, pleases me. Ac tu, id quod simul ex cogitavisti perficere soles. And you, ac tu, are accustomed to complete, soles perficere, that which, id quod, you have once thought up, simul ex cogitavisti. Point being is, if you got a plan to escape, I like any plan to escape, and you usually complete whatever you think up to do. Certe consilium meum perficiam. Certainly I will I will complete my plan. Inquit pater, says his father. Ecce omnia habeo. Look, I have all the things, omnia, quae necessaria sunt, which are necessary, ad hoc opus, for this work. Penas, ceram, ignem, feathers, wax, and fire. Igne, ceram moliam, with fire I will soften the wax. So molio, molire is to soften, to make something soft. The adjective mollis, mole means soft, and this verb is made from that root. Mollify in English, and I think emollient come from this as well. But molio, moliri is a fourth conjugation, so notice you get the aset future. I will soften the wax, keram, with fire, ablative of means. Keramoli, with the soft wax. Penas jungam, I will join the feathers. Jungo, jungri is a third conjugation, so it also has the aset future. I will join the feathers with the soft wax. Et in lacertis figam, and I will fix them on your arms. And lacertis specifically is the upper arm, right? So the part of your arm closer to your shoulder. All right. Daedalus igitur. Daedalus, therefore, arte mirabili, with his wonderful or amazing, marvelous art or skill, sibi et filio suo alas ingentes confecit ex pennis, made for himself and for his son, filio suo, huge wings, alas ingentes, out of feathers, ex pennis, quas cera junxit, which he joined with wax, et in lacertis fixit, and he fixed or attached on their upper arms. Postquam finem operis fecit, after he made an end of the work, which remember this fecit finem is an idiom. You can just say after he finished the work if you want. Opus jam perfectum est, inquit. He says, the work is now perfected, it's done, it's completed. Ecce exemplum artis meae novissimum. Look at this most recent, novissimum. You could just say newest if you want, but often recent is a good way to translate this. Look at this most recent, this freshest example, exemplum, of my skill. Aves quidim non sumus. We indeed are not birds, sed aves imitabimur, but we will imitate birds in volando, in flying. Vento clarius trans mare volabimus. We will fly, volabimus, across the sea, trans mare, more quickly than the wind. Now, clarius is the comparative adverb, which looks like the neuter form of the comparative adjective with the ius ending. More quickly, vento, ablative of comparison, more quickly than the wind. We will fly across the sea more quickly than the wind. Nulla avis, no bird, nos consequi poterit, will be able to catch up with us. Consequi nos. Icarus studiosus volandi. Icarus, eager, literally of flying, but again we want to say eager to fly or for flying. Alas huc illuc movit, moved the wings here and there. Huc illuc, huc illuc. And this phrase in Latin often implies kind of randomly back and forth. Nec se supra humum levare potuit, nor was he able to lift himself supra humum, above the ground. And I could just note quickly on humus, this is one of those words like domus and manus that's an us word. In this case, it's a second declension us word that actually is feminine instead of the normal masculine. All right. Ala me sostenere non possunt. The wings are not able to hold me up, to sustain me, he says, inquit. Tu doce me volare. You teach me, and we would say how to fly, but the Latin doesn't really have a word for how in these kinds of expressions, just a different idiom. You teach me to fly. You teach me how to fly. Statim Daedalus, immediately Daedalus, say Alis levavit, lifted himself, say, with the wings, Alis, et nisi alas recte moves inquit, and he says, unless, nisi, you move the wings, moves alas, correctly, recte, volare non potes, you cannot fly, you are not able to fly. Imitare me, copy me, imitate me. So the point is, Icarus was being kind of random and not moving the wings in the right kind of pattern to accomplish flight. Daedalus, I guess, is more wise. He's perhaps watched the birds more closely, and he knows the right way to move them. How difficilis est ars volandi? By no means difficult is the art of flying, the skill of flying. Dun, 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 dun. All right, move alas sursum deorsum hoc modo. Move the wings up sursum. Now sursum and sursus are both adverbs meaning upwards, and deorsum or deorsus are both adverbs meaning downwards. Prorsus or prorsum is forwards, rursus or rursum would mean backwards. So move the wings sursum up, deorsum down, hoc modo in this way. And he's showing the boy as he's moving him up and down. Ita pater filium suum arte molandi docuit. So the father taught his own son, filium suum, the art or skill of flying, arte molandi, tamquam avis pulos suos, just as a bird, and you understand here, has taught his own or her own chicks, pulos suos. Tum purrum osculatus, then having kissed the boy. Now osculatus is, it looks like a perfect passive participle, and it is in form, but because osculor, osculare is a deponent verb, instead of saying having been kissed, it has to be active in translation, so thus having kissed. So then having kissed the boy, he says, inquit, parate sumus, we are prepared, ad volandum, for flying. Said prios hoc te moneo, but first I warn you about this, I advise you this. Vola post me, fly behind me, in medio aere, in the middle of the air, inter caelum et terram, between the heavens or the sky up above, et terram, and the earth. Okay, so he wants him to take a path through the air, but not high air, not way up in the atmosphere, right? Nam si in infemo aere prope mare volabis, for if you will fly, si volabis, in the lowest air, in infimo aere, near the sea, prope mare, pennae humidae fient, the feathers will become wet. Okay, so the sea spray will make the feathers wet. Sin volabis in summa aere, but if you will fly in the top of the air, the highest air, prope caelum, near the heavens, right, near the high sky, ignis solis, the fire of the sun, ceram moliet, will melt the wax, atque pinas urit, and will burn the feathers. Now, of course, this is not scientifically correct, but we're in a Greek myth here, so we don't need to worry about that quite. Basically, the idea is get too low, you get wet, and you fall. Get too high, sun's going to burn you up, right? So in mythology, of course, the sun is supposed to be going through the sky in this chariot pulled by flying horses, right? And so it's not way far away like it is in actuality, right? Millions of miles. No such thing. All right. Noli nimis audax, don't be, noli nimis audax esse, don't be too bold in volando, in your flying. Cautus esto, be cautious, mi fili, my son. Iam sequere me, now follow me. Carcerem nostrum effugimus, we are fleeing our prison. Liberi sumus, we are free. Well, that concludes our section 2. So we've had a lot more of these gerunds here. And again, we keep seeing those. Those are very easy to notice with the nd, which is right after the verbal stem, like wolandum at the end of line 75 or wolando at the end of line 80. And again, those are neuter, singular, second declension verbal nouns with endings e, genitive, o, dative and ablative, and accusative.